Nithyananda, welcome back to Nithya Kriya. Today's prayer number 18. And the prayer that we are going to practice is called Care for ADHD. Okay, so today is 26th of April 2023. A warm welcome to everybody who's joining me online by the Zoom here in Ardinum as well as the social media platform. So without further ado, let's set time to center ourselves so that we can enter into the space of restful awareness to receive this Kriya. So I like all of you to sit with the back straight, aligning the head, neck, and spine in one straight line. You can sit in any comfortable meditative posture, whether it is Padmasana, Adha Padmasana, Sukhasana, any posture that you feel relaxed. So with that, just close your eyes and become aware of your physical body. Bring awareness to the whole body from head to the toes, your fingertips. Completely occupy your body. Feel physically in this body. Then expand your awareness to encompass your breath awareness by breathing in very slowly and deeply. With awareness of the two gaps between incoming breath, outgoing breath, then the outgoing breath and incoming breath. The two gaps is what we know as neutral zone. The neutral zone is where there is no movement, no thought, only silence and stillness. This is also the space where you experience whether it's your kumbhaka or also the Shiva consciousness. So now just be completely aware of your breathing, how the inhalation is coming in, enter into a gap, a pause, then how exhalation leaves the prana leave the body and enter into the second gap. Just keep watching the breath by slowing it down so that you start bringing in your body and mind to the space of now, the present moment. You enter into this restful awareness in deep listening. In that restful awareness, let's invoke Swamiji, our Guru, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. By chanting the Sadguru Vandanam, so join your palms together in the Amanjali Mudra, put it in your heart center, Anahata Chakra. Let's invoke him, followed by 3 times the Mahavakya. Take a deep breath. Nithyanandam Paramasukaram Kevalam Jnanamutim Vandvatitam Gagana Shatrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Savvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satguruntam Namami. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Once again, very warm welcome to all of you to join me for this Nithya Kriya series. Today is Kriya number 18, Care for ADHD. So next slide, let's enter into the outline of what we're going to go through. So first, I will do a quick intro on Nithya Kriya again for the benefit of new people who are joining it for the first time or watching it for the first time. Okay. Then I talk about psychiatric disorder, the general understanding about psychiatric disorder, which is very prevalent now in the modern world. Okay, some of the psychological disorder that many people are experiencing. So we're going to touch briefly on psychiatric disorder, which is basically a mental health issues. Okay, then we zoom in on ADHD, which is very common among children. Okay, and then we look at the steps to enter into the Kriya, so that we can all practice together. Please understand that this Kriya is not only for people who have ADHD, then they can practice. Okay, so I want to put for a disclaimer that it's not only that you have ADHD, then you practice. Of course, when you have ADHD, you will be completely healed. But this Kriya works on awakening the whole brain function. So let's understand that fundamentally, that it is applicable for anyone. Then we can have a sharing session by the participants today who are going to go through this Kriya. Okay, so let's now enter into a brief introduction on Nithya Kriya for the benefit of newcomers. Understand? Nithya Kriya is the gift from the Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. He gifted this 108 Kriyas in 2011. After the illegal imprisonment in 2010, between April to June, and in that period, he worked on this, this Nithya Kriya series. So what we're enjoying now is basically the fruit of that period of tapas that he was doing. So Nithya Kriya is a unique and ancient combination of components of Nithyananda Yoga that include the asana, yoga posture, pranayama, the breathing techniques, visualization, both external verbalization in the form of mantra, sound that one can hear or chant, and internal verbalization like internal hearing of sound or mantra. So these kriyas, understand, they derive from the ancient source scriptures of Hinduism, which are decoded and revealed by Swamiji, or formerly known as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Guru Mahasandiranam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. So in the span of 18 years, understand he has done many programs, many sessions, initiations, and all that in at least 186 countries over the span of 18 years. And this series of Nithya Kriya's manuals comprise of cares and cures for the most common ailments that we are seeing in modern days. So some of the physical ailments could also include cancer, chronic diseases like cancer, autoimmune disorder. It can be also like diabetes and all that. So some of these common chronic diseases and common ailments that we're seeing in the modern day. Okay, so Swamiji took the responsibility to work on his body to develop all these different powerful kriyas, which is based on breathing, pranayama, and certain postures and mantras. Combination of that to develop this whole solution for humanity. So cure and preventing care with the kriyas work respectively for each condition or disorder. Even though the desired result might be experienced within a few days of practicing, but all the kriyas are recommended to practice for at least 21 days consecutively, which means no break. Every day do the kriya for 21 days to see the best result. Okay, next slide. So the Nithya Kriyas basically preserved and deliver the original yogic practice, which are born out of millennia of research and development, and the contribution of the innumerable enlightened yogis who have dedicated their lives to enriching the world with this science. So understand what Swamiji has done is he referred to many of yogic scriptures created or left behind by many enlightened yogis, and based on his research and development, he basically updated for the modern day. So that is the beauty of having incarnation of enlightened beings, landing in different time. They basically upgrade and update whatever solution that is relevant for our time. Okay, So according to the teaching methods laid out by the legendary yogis like Goraknath and Matsyendranath, they are the two very, very famous enlightened yogis from the Nata Sampradaya. Okay, so the individual asanas and pranayamas techniques are sacred and must not be tampered with, and the combination of the techniques required to produce the desired effect are to be learned from the Guru. So true to the Vedic tradition, these forefathers, these fathers of the modern yoga have left the door wide open for the continuous updating of this ancient science. So basically, even the solution has been given. He also encouraged for future updation. Okay, next slide. So understand one thing about energy, okay, when you work with Nithya Kriya, because it's working on the Kundalini Shakti. It's working on awakening the Kundalini Shakti. Understand there is a constant flow of energy happening in us throughout the body through the 72,000 nadis, the energy channels called nadis, okay, which makes up of the energy circuit of the body. So our body has 7 circuits. The Kundalini Shakti is called the energy circuit. Okay? So the circuit is governed by the Kundalini energy, and the Kundalini energy is the immense potential energy present in all of us, and acts as the water pump and helps complete the energy circuit. So Kundalini can be thought as everyone's hotline to the infinite cosmic energy source. So when your Kundalini energy is awakened, you have access to the infinite cosmic energy. So once awakened, okay, the yogic practices, by the yogic practices or guidance and grace or guru, or Kundalini showers a host of blessing on the practitioner, including a boost in energy level, physical well-being, falling away of negative mental patterns through inner fulfillments and deep connection to the universal source. So the awakening of Kundalini Shakti only brings good positive result, benefits. Okay, so if there is a disturbance in the energy flow in some part of the body, for instance, heart center or the reproductive organ, for instance, there is going to be impediments, right, to the energy flow. That means there will be a blockage to the energy flow through the rest of the body, resulting in the onset of diseases, disorder, disturbances in the body. So keeping the energy flow of the Kundalini Shakti is absolutely important. That's why in a lot of the technique of this kriyas, it awakens the Kundalini Shakti to pump the energy to different parts of bodies. As a result of that, removing the energy blockages and restoring the life energy, the prana flow, and the body is aligned to certain posture during the practice of the Nithya Kriya. So the energy block is removed and again realigned. Once the block is removed, Kundalini energy gets pumped into the circuit during the kumbhaka. The kumbhaka is where the temporary cessation of the breathing, after inhalation, there is a silence during those kumbhaka. And then when energy flow is re-established, the disease or disturbances is healed. This is the way how the Nithya Kriya works. Okay, next slide. So what are the scriptural references these kriyas are based on? So they are based on, like Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that's one of them. And then there are 3 other classic texts in a form of, next slide, Hatha Yoga Pratipika, Dhirendra Samhita, and Shiva Samhita. So these are the 4 major form of the scriptural references that Swamiji used. And then there are, of course, another set of other references, which is in the next slide. Like other texts that Swamiji draw upon include Kumbhaka Padati, also Trishik Brahmano Upanishad, Yoga Kundale Upanishad, Yoga Chandamani Upanishad, Yoga Tiravali, Yoga Pratipika, Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. Okay, so these are some of the other references of the scriptural text that he referred to when he was developing the kriyas, the 108 kriyas. Okay, next slide. So see, over the years, these Kriyas have made extraordinary progress in recognizing, diagnosing, and treating mental illnesses as well as severe psychological distress. So, Kailasa, who in the Department of Health, is committed to bringing on that success by matching humanity's hardship with equally magnanimous responsibility by improving the quality of healthcare for the Hindus through the science of Nithya Kriya. It is the policy of Kailasa Department of Health to work towards the unified goal of bringing excellence to the healthcare provision to the citizens by providing them with the best services towards well-being so that they can achieve success and prosperity and ultimately contributing to the world. See, one of the beautiful spirit of Hinduism is contributing to humanity, contributing to the world. So that part of the, when you're inspired, when you are doing, aligning yourself to the Dharma, you'll naturally be contributing. You will naturally be helping to raise the collective consciousness. So this is one of the, I would say, impetus or driver that why we are doing these kriyas. We are sharing all these wonderful signs that Swamiji has gifted to the world and reviving it to the way how many people in the world can benefit. So today I decided that I picked ADHD. Next slide. Because I want to, this kriya actually not only just going to help children, but also even adults as well. Okay, so today we are going to do the preventive care for ADHD. So here's a disclaimer. The flow of the Nithya Kriya is a continuous process. So make sure you follow all the steps. In today's kriya, there are only 4 steps. Okay, but step 2 and 3 are quite long. So we will do it, accordingly. And do not break in between until the entire segments of the kriyas is officially completed. That means in 4 steps, don't break it. Don't do part 1 and part 2 and disappear. And then after that, continue part 3 and part 4 in another day. No, do it completely, all the steps in one session. Okay. The following kriya is recommended to be followed for at least 21 days or 42 days on a daily basis to achieve the desired result. So that's what is recommended. Do not do less than 21 days, okay? Minimum 21 days. Ideally, you can want to extend it, you can do for 2 days, two cycle. Because in the, according to Swamiji, our body, human body, takes 21 days to develop a new habit, a new muscle memory. So if you want to develop a new muscle memory, do anything 21 days, you become part of it. That's the reason why Nithya Kriya is recommended for 21 days, practice. And then the technique is not intended to be a substitute for any professional, medical or diagnosis, understand, or treatment. Individuals with any type of medical condition, the elderly, children below 14, etc., women who are pregnant or suspect that they may be pregnant are advised to seek the professional medical advice before practicing this kriya. Okay, so that is important. You know your body better. Please consult your healthcare practitioner or healthcare consultant who are treating you before you do the kriya. And the viewers who are watching online, who are not on two-way or not on the video conferencing, please practice it with caution because, or at your own risk, because you're not in the energy field of, where we are. So next slide. So let's look at psychiatric disorder, which is very, very common nowadays because of the stressful lifestyle and also so many disturbances of the mind created by our modern living. So here's some facts that you need to know. We have all experienced forms of mental stress in the form of negative emotions, frequently brought on by patterns of negative thinking. See, the world, the society generally creates a lot of negative thought current. driven by fear and greed. So underlying a lot of the societal conditioning, there are a lot of these patterns of negative thinking, like telling you only about impossibility, you can't do that. You are not able to achieve it. Or they try to make you think that you are lesser than what you truly are. So these there are different states of mental wellness and mental disorder. But every one of us had experienced some form of psychological stress or disease brought on by triggers that may be as trivial as having a rush for a deadline. It means you're trying to finish a project deadline or trying to study during your examination period, or something like as major as losing a loved one. So in all the life events, the ups and downs, all of us had experienced some kind of psychological stress in our life. Okay, so there's no one is spared from it. Let's be very clear. Everyone at some point in time encounters some life difficult situation or adversity that cause stress to us. Okay, so according to this is basically what they've done through the American Psychiatric Association, APA. So a mental disorder is defined as a behavioral or psychological syndrome or pattern that occurs in an individual and that reflects an underlying psychological, psychobiological dysfunction. So not only just psychologically dysfunction, but biologically you also have some level of disturbance in the body. So the consequence of which are clinically significant distress, like a painful symptom or disability of some sort. For instance, like impairment of one's or more important areas of functioning. That means certain part of the body is being impaired. So must not be merely an expectable response to common stressor or loser. For instance, the loss of a loved one or a culturally sanctioned response to a particular event, for example, the trance state in a religious ritual. So that is not primarily a result of social deviance or conflicts with society. So basically, what it says that defining mental disorder by the American Psychiatric Association. Okay, next slide. So they also found that 1 in 4, that is about 25%, 1 in 4 people will experience some kind of mental health problem within the course of 1 year, according to the Mental Health Foundation. So all emotions, Somji said that. So as you can see, many of the mental health problem. See, the people who are experiencing mental health problem is getting younger and younger. That is a disturbing trend. See, in the past, maybe my generation, you only hear that people having mental health issue in their 20s or 30s. But nowadays, if you do a research on the kids, I've seen when I was working with Gurukul, Gurukul, we found that children having reporting mental health issues is getting younger. Even kids like primary school suffering from mental health issues like anxiety attack, depression, compulsive disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder. That kind of thing is becoming more and more common, especially in the modern society where children are going through very stressful, academic environment. So that is a very disturbing trend. Okay, and not only that, they're also getting a lot of distraction from the virtual world, internet, mobile world, where they are able to access to this virtual world, which create another level of distraction and a lot of hyperactivity of the mind and triggering different emotions. Okay, so Somji says this very beautiful. Say all emotions, both good, bad, are nothing but the effect of the engraved memories called samskara, which we have accumulated from the past. So in the past, if we had some kind of stressful event, incident, you created certain engraved memories. So when you're carrying too many engraved memories, negative one, naturally the energy flow in the body will not be smooth because of the engraved memory. disturb the energy circuit. So in particular, samskara blocks the energy hubs or chakras. In our body, we have at least 7 major energy centers, which is called the chakras. When these chakras are disturbed, it causes physical and mental disturbances, and as over time, it creates diseases in the part of the organs near that chakras. Okay, so according to a yogic knowledge, the cause of mental disease, like anxiety, depression, is frequently of a mental nature. So that's why Swamiji said most of our diseases are psychosomatic. Psychosomatic means what? It stems from the mind disturbance, and then it starts manifesting in the physical disorder, physical problem. So in directly or indirectly, many of the diseases are from the mental level. So in many of his discourses, Swamiji teaches the mental suffering, such as fear, depressions, all this kind of mental health issue are rooted deeply into a biomemory and cause health problems and diseases by lowering the immune system. Because of the disturbances, it creates a low immunity system, and when the immunity is low, you're more susceptible to attacks by external negative energy, whether it come in a form of viruses or come in a form of what you call that, vibration. Right? Let's say the vibration, you're having a low vibration, and when you go to a place where there's a lot of negative energy floating around, you would naturally get affected. Okay. So the process of completion, as Swamiji taught us through Punatva, completion with past pain pattern, is essential to overcoming the root causes of these diseases. So not only just doing this kriya, but doing the completion of some of those samskara, engraved memories, is important to completely eradicate the root cause of how you created some of these diseases and disorder. Okay, next slide. Okay, so now let's understand about ADHD. So many of you have heard this common term ADHD. Let's understand what is ADHD. ADHD is defined as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. This is the complete definition of ADHD. So ADHD is an acronym for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It is a common childhood disorder that can last even till adulthood. So don't think that some adults do not have ADHD. It can persist till that time if they have not dealt with it. Right now, I'm seeing a lot of parents send their kids to, even though they may not be diagnosed with ADHD, but they suspect that they have ADHD, and because they don't know how to handle the energy, they send the kids to all these psychiatric, doctor, and they put these children on drugs at a very young age. The sedation of the drugs dull their mind and make sure that they can't, have that awareness. So don't, I'm seeing that is happening with many parents. So make sure that the kid is properly diagnosed. So people with ADHD are known to engage themselves in excessive activities and may have difficulty paying attention. And signs of hyperactivity include an inability to sit still, excessive talking, and impulsiveness. Okay. So in addition, the hyperactive people generally rely on constant engagement on some activity to keep themselves occupied. So the attention deficit component is punctuated by forgetfulness. So because of the attention deficit, they develop this pattern of forgetfulness and easily distracted. They can't hold the awareness for a prolonged period of time. They have difficulty in paying attention, focusing on one thing. So which means what? The quality of awareness is very, very low, and as a result, sometimes they are not able to see things as it is. They're seeing things from the limited cognition and limited awareness. So someone with ADHD can show any combination of any signs. It could be anxiety attack, some kind, could be bodily, not able to control the body function, like shaking or So all these are many different signs, or hysterical shouting and mood swing and outbursts of we call it emotion. So all these combination of different signs can related to ADHD. So signs of ADHD are normally recognized at a very young age, often before a child starts school. Okay, so parents and teachers often label a child as difficult to deal with. What? Understand? Somji once joked that because Somji is so active and so restless, if he were to be born in USA, I think they would have labeled him ADHD. That's what he said. But good thing he chose a good place, like in India, in Tiruvennamala, which is safe and not so much all this, kind of nonsense going on. So at least he was given the proper care, and under the enlightened ambience by all the enlightened masters. So, imagine that if people are not born in the right ambience, right, the spiritual ambience, they could easily label the kids, wrongly and destroy them. Okay, so kids often act out of defiance or may have a quick temper or other behavioral problems, but that doesn't mean that they are having HDHD. Okay, ADHD. So ADHD also leads to intense interpersonal problems and frequently leads to other psychological disorder over time. So when you don't deal with this psychological disorder or ADHD, it can lead to more complicated disorder. Okay. So any questions so far about ADHD? Any question? I just take a pause first before we go through the kriyas together. From people who are online or people who are here physically with me. Any questions? Let me just go into the Facebook and see if there's any question from the okay, so far there's no question from the Facebook. If there is any one of you who feel that you want to ask a question about ADHD, you can do that while we go through the steps. Okay, now this kriya is called care for ADHD. Okay, there are 4 steps. So the yoga asanas that we assume is Vajrasana, which is ankle posture. So, and then the second kumbhaka that we're going to work on is Dakshinavata Shanka Kumbhaka and Vata Shanka Kumbhaka. Okay, so these two is the essential part of this whole kriya. Step 2 and step 3. Okay, and then the last one is just Gada Kumbhaka. So let's enter into the first step. So sitting in Vajrasana. Okay, Vajrasana means ankle posture. Okay, next slide. Let's go to the scripture reference for Vajrasana. So this is taken from Virendra Samhita Upadesha 2 verse 12. Okay, the translation goes, having hardened the thighs like steel and placing both legs on the side of the anus. Okay, on the side of the anus is called Vajrasana, which gives great extraordinary power. So with the knees, ankle, and big toe touching the ground. So the knees, the ankles, and the big toe touching the ground, stand on the kneeling position. This is quite a common position that the Japanese like to sit when they, they at home. So then sit upright with the heels under your buttocks. Okay, this is the posture in the yoga, scriptures. The only posture you can assume after eating, because when you sit, where the weight is pressing on the heel, it activates the digestive system. So that's why this is the only posture after you have eaten that you can assume. Other posture, yoga posture, you can't do it because you will create discomfort in the body. So now sit in Vajrasana for at least 30 seconds. Okay, so we will sit now, which is like a preparatory step to enter into Kriya. So now let's all sit in Vajrasana and with the eyes closed and just breathe very slowly and deeply for 30 seconds to prepare this body and mind space to enter into the Kumbhaka. Slow inhalation and exhalation. All right, so after 30 seconds, we move to step number 2. This is called the Dakshinavata Shanka Kumbhaka, which is a breathing technique. It's quite a long one, but let me just explain the what is needed. Okay, say practicing Chaka Kumbhaka twice and Agni Soma Kumbhaka once is called the Shanka Kumbhaka. As said before, Shanka Kumbhaka is also of the two types like Chakra Kumbhaka. Okay, so let's look at the step, the technique itself. So let me explain first, then we do it together. It has two parts. So the first part is you're going to inhale deeply and fully through the right nostril. Okay, so through the right nostril, you're going to inhale fully. Then you're going to hold the breath inside as long as you can. When you can't hold anymore, release the breath through the left nostril. So in through the right, hold, and then exhale to the left. Okay. Then again, inhale fully through the right nostril again. So again, inhale through the right. Hold the breath inside as long as you can. Till you can't hold anymore, release to the left. Okay. So you're going to practice this as described in 1 to 6 once more. So which means from 1 to 6, we do 1 time. And then again, we do 1 time again, 1 to 6. With 2 rounds of this Dakshinavata Shanka Kumbhaka, 2 rounds. Okay, once it's completed, then we go to the next Kumbhaka in this technique. Okay, so let's do that. So put your right thumb out. So you're going to inhale now deeply through the right nostril. Close, hold it as long as you can. Till you can't hold it anymore, release, exhale through the left. Okay, we do it one more time. Inhale to the right. Hold the breath inside as long as you can. Then exhale, release through the left. Okay, so 2 rounds. Let's now move to the part 2 of this Kumbhaka. So this time round, you're going to inhale through the right nostril. Hold the breath. Exhale through the left. And now inhale to the left, hold, exhale to the right. Okay, now you're going to do this 21 times. So this step number 7 to 12, 21 times. Okay, inhale to the right now, hold, exhale left, inhale left, hold, exhale right. This is the second time, so please do it Count at your own pace, 21 times. So when you're done with this 21 times, you just sit for a while, we wait for the rest to complete. Okay, so let's enter into the step 3 now. It's called Vama, Vata, Shanka, Kumbhaka, another breathing technique. So let's enter into the Shastra Pramana. So basically it says practicing Chakra Kumbhaka twice and Soma Kumbhaka once is called as Shanka Kumbhaka. I said before, Shanka Kumbhaka is also 2 types of Chakra Kumbhaka. So this time now, instead of inhaling through the left, so right nostril, we are going to reverse the whole thing. By inhaling through the left, hold the breath, exhale through the right. Again, inhale through the left, hold, and exhale to the right. So just now we are doing this direction, right? This time out, we are going to practice this direction twice. Okay, let's do now. Inhale to the left, hold, till you can't hold anymore, exhale right. Again, inhale to the left, lock it, release to the right. Okay, next slide, we're going to do the same 21 times. This time out, you're going to inhale to the left, hold the breath, exhale to the right. Okay, sorry, inhale to the right, lock it, hold, and exhale to the left. Then again, inhale to the left, hold, and exhale to the right. Do this again 21 times. Okay, let's start. Inhale right, exhale left, inhale to the left, exhale right. So do it again 21 times. So if you're done with this 21 times, just sit for a while. We wait for the rest to finish, then we'll complete the last step called Gada Kumbhaka. Okay, and you just describe the fourth step called the Gada Kumbhaka. Next slide. So this Kumbhaka, the translation goes, is taken from Kumbhaka Parati, verse 112. It says, when the inhalation is performed through both the nostril and exhalation is through the right one, the right nostril. It is called the Gada Kumbhaka, explained by Shiva and the strengthener of yogis. So this Kumbhaka strengthens the yogi's body. Okay, so the technique is very simple. Just inhale through both nostrils and hold the breath. Then exhale only through the right side. Do this Kumbhaka for 21 times. Okay, so let's start. Inhale through both nostrils. Hold till you can't hold anymore. Exhale only through the right. This is one round. Do another 20 rounds at your own pace. When you're done, just sit comfortably in any comfortable meditative posture. If you'd like to continue to sit in Vajrasana, you can. Otherwise, just sit in silence. Allow the Kundalini Shakti to be awakened. Okay, so Paramotion, you can unshare the thing. We'll wait for Jarasha to get it finished. Those of you who finish, you just sit in silence and enjoy the kumbhaka, the silence. All right, you can slowly open your eyes. So how do you feel? Anyone want to share? What do you feel? Huh? Yeah, very relaxing. I find it so relaxing. This Kriya is so cool. It's the first time I'm doing this Kriya, I tell you honestly. Um, I think it just works on silencing the brain so powerfully, so effectively. See, when in ADHD, one of the things is there's too much of disturbances inside, and this Kriya just put you into the deep silence. I don't know how many of you feel the same way, but very, very relaxing. You just relax into that silence. Do you feel that? Huh? Right? You just feel like you're gone. So what about, let me see, Maheshwari wanted to share something. Yeah, feeling very focused. See, in ADHD it means you're too distracted, you cannot focus, you're like scattered brain, right? You're like an airhead, the head is filled with air and you can't think, you're like some kind of going all over the place, hyperactivity, distracted. But this Kriya just suddenly just put you in that, not only relaxed state, but in that restful awareness for you to focus. Do you feel that? Anyone from the Zoom, how do you feel? Okay, so understand you can teach teenagers this Kriya because it will be very, very good for their study. You help them to focus because by the time they reach teenage, there'll be so much of disturbances and hyperactivity, restlessness. So this Kriya, it's actually quite easy to follow. See, we only take us maybe 20 minutes to do this Kriya, but very powerful Kriya. I can vouch for it. When I practice it, I'm going to try doing it for a few more days to see how it goes on my system. Because normally when some powerful Kriyas, I like to play with it a bit more. Okay. Especially when okay, so Jarashadika said you're forced to focus. That one only Kundalini keep awakening. Yeah, you sit only ting ting, right? But then once you enter into the kumbhaka, the breathing, how it's coordinated together, it just aligned the whole brain into that focus. I do not know what is activated. Somehow, certain nadi in the brain is activated to just bring you to that focus. That's how I felt. I just felt so like inside, when even my eyes are closed, I feel so like aware. I don't know how to describe, like ding. I feel like I'm watching everything. I'm just suddenly so aware. Not, like how sometimes when you close your eyes, you feel down, you're half asleep, right? You're in between wakeful and sleep, that kind of feeling. But this Kriya, you cannot be sleeping, you're just so alive inside. Feel so alive and aware. That's how I feel when I do step 2, step 3, even step 4 as well. So it's quite amazing how powerful Swamiji has gifted us this Kriya. So I'm going to practice a few more days, maybe do it for at least 21 days to see the complete effect of this Kriya on my brain. So any other questions? If you need clarification about this Kriya, anyone? If you have,
The steps are like very repetitive. Like I can't like differentiate like this like two of the steps, except only one from left to right, right to left. What they are like, I was thinking, repeat so much so many one.
the repetition of that Kriya is very powerful. The more you do, it's just somehow it does the alignment. I do not know how to explain. I just felt the whole repetition just reinforces that whole alignment. So you can only know more when you practice over a period of time to see, but the effect is it can be experienced immediately in the first session, right? The awareness, the focus, and very relaxing, which is what is needed for clarity of thinking, for what you call that? Ability to perform in the outer world. See, when you're stressed, when you are hyperactive, your brain is clouded with too many thoughts and all that. You can't focus, you can't see things clearly. You're missed. Either you fall into downness or you're too charged up that you can't see things as it is. Too many emotions raising. You're in a flux, a flux of not just emotionally, but in the mental level, you're in a flux. So when you're in a flux, you can't actually make sound decision. You will be making decision based on your emotion, whether it's fear or whether it's irritation or anger. So in that kind of flux, you always mess up. You make decision in a mess, in a hasty way, or you see things in a in a very, very distorted way. Okay. Yeah, you literally you don't have any thoughts in after the kumbhaka. You just sit in that silence. You just enjoy the silence, or you allow the the seeing, the seer. You know how Swamiji's talk about the seer? The seer is the Paramashiva component in you to see things clearly. Okay, so great. So I hope you enjoyed this Kriya. I hope more parents can also learn this Kriya to help their children to do this. It's very simple. It's not too difficult. The only thing is that they have to learn to sit in Vajrasana. Which it's a matter of training, sitting in Vajrasana. Okay, so like for instance, if you have problem with the ankle injury or ankle being painful sitting in the posture, just roll a towel and then let your ankle rest on the towel. Okay, like this. Okay, I'll just demonstrate. Let's say this is, some people are feeling sitting like that pain. Just imagine this is the towel, roll it, and then just sit on it like this. Okay, so that this ankle is not touching the ground. It is cushioned by a towel. Then the sitting will be much more comfortable in Vajrasana. Okay, I've seen some people who have ankle injuries or their ankle is stiff. So when they sit like this for a while, they feel very painful, and especially you need to sit at least for 21 minutes to go through the four steps. So some then after a few minutes they feel, oh, they can't sustain. So one way is to roll a towel and sit on that, cushion this part of it. Okay, and if you like, you can even put a blanket on your buttock. Okay, so there are many ways to adapt the Vajrasana to make yourself comfortable. Okay, so if there's no question, shall we conclude with the Purna mantra? I thank you all for joining. I hope you find this Kriya very beneficial. Practice for at least 21 days to see the full benefit, and then you can come and report back. All right, so let's end with the Purna mantra. Thank you all for joining. Join the palms together. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Saubham Bhagavad Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Parga Paramastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you for joining, Nithyanandam.
Thank you.
You can